We gather here for our great loss, Bill of Rights. He was a great pal. He went through such adversity, such a difficult and harsh time, an oppression, and he couldn't take it no more. And we are here for mourning for our great loss. And we shed a lot of tears. The fight still will go on. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to pray for our friend, the First Amendment, who's been put out on life support by the dastardly three amigos, Sopa, Pipa, and Open. While Sopa's fate is unsure, his brethren are still able to wreak havoc and destroy him. But we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We can make him better, faster, and stronger. But only you can help. What? And the evils of this bill cannot be understated. Domain seizures, disruption of the fundamental design of the internet, and the corporate government censorship threatens our friend, the First Amendment. SOPA, PIPA, and Open should not be allowed to run free and wreak havoc. Call your senators, call your congressional representatives, and tell them to uphold our friend, the First Amendment. Only you can prevent this from happening. Do it now before singing along the song on YouTube that you're in jail. Do it now before information is wiped off the internet. Do it now. So we have to say, hey, remember when we had the internet? Yeah, that was cool. I know how I can understand it.
It's going to be really hard. Bill was a good friend of mine, so please bear with me.
Throw myself out. Thank you very much.
We are here to mourn the death of a beloved friend. One that I have walked alongside for many years, since I was old enough to realize this system wasn't protecting us
all the prisoners in Indiana. Westville, Branchville. I'm Happy Jack, and I'm back. I'm not high